in many, they say, morpha. It means the dark age. And very often it is translated as the Dhamma ending age. But I reject this translation. It's misleading and not true, because the Dhamma never ends. It has no beginning and it has no end. It is how things are. What we mean when we're talking about Dhamma ending is that the Buddha's Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma, will disappear. Right now, the teachings of the Buddha are still known in the world, but slowly and inevitably, according to the law of anicca, they will be lost and forgotten. It's like if we turn off this fan, it won't come to a standstill immediately. It will continue to turn, but it will get slower and slower and slower until it finally stops. And it is so with the teachings of the Buddha. This is what it means by Kali Yuga, the dark age, when things decline and people's understanding gets distorted and morality gets low. So, well, I am not one who talks about this Kali Yuga. I don't like to. I say if things are declining, work a bit harder. If things are going downhill, try putting the brakes on. Slow the process. Where does Kali Yuga come from? Not from outside our minds, but from inside. Actually, I think we're very lucky to be here together like this is a sign that we are taking advantage somewhat of our opportunities. It's a sign that the Dhamma is important to us. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting like this for so long. You'd be at home enjoying yourself, going out for makan or something, instead of coming here like this. What is it that brings us together like this? Small group of us. Most people are not interested. Why us? Why you? You don't know. But something draws you to it. Past accumulations, we may say, or yen. Just like Prince Siddhartha felt an urge to leave the palace and go off to search for truth. Wouldn't you think he, as a prince, he would have been satisfied with all the pleasures and luxuries of life in the palace? Why did he feel incomplete? Do you think he understood what was happening to him? I don't think so. It was this force from previous lifetimes pushing him onwards. He was a bodhisattva, had been for many lifetimes, but he didn't know he was a bodhisattva. When do you think he realized that he was a bodhisattva? There's a lot of misconception about this idea. I maintain that while a person is a bodhisattva, he doesn't know that he is a bodhisattva. Only when he becomes a Buddha and looks back does he see, oh, I was a bodhisattva before. But while he's a bodhisattva, he doesn't know it. So Prince Siddhartha was a bodhisattva, but didn't know it. There was this force, his destiny, if you like, pushing him onwards. And no doubt he didn't understand it. It was something that he felt and followed. Perhaps this force is there in us too, in some measure. We can't explain it, and it's better that we can't. If we think we know, we don't know. If we think we don't know, if we realize we don't know, that is the beginning of knowing. But if we think we know, we really don't know. Leave it at that. Just be happy that you found it. We're so lucky. Nurture it. Take care of it. Develop it. Don't say, Kali Yuga, I can't do anything, and give up. It's not true. We can do something. Not just for ourselves, but for others too. And enlightenment is near. It is always near. It's nearer to us than is the nose on our face. But we don't see it because we're looking somewhere else and we don't see what is. We look, but we do not see. But it's always near. You all hear the question. Why should we talk about a Dharma ending age when there are always monks to perpetuate the Dharma? Well, I can honestly say to you that I became a monk in order to become enlightened. The fact that after all these years I'm still not enlightened doesn't change that. I became a monk in order to become enlightened. I hope that by the time I die, I shall be a little bit more enlightened than I am now. I've not given up. I'm getting older. I'm not as strong as I used to be. I'm not as energetic as I used to be physically. But mentally, I think I'm still going up. At about 35, I passed my peak physically and started to go down. And you know, you go down much faster than when you went up. So I hope that by the time I die, whenever that will be, I shall be a little bit more enlightened than I am now. Most monks, I think, want to be enlightened. There's no point otherwise. But wanting to be enlightened and actually being enlightened are two different things. If we became enlightened merely by wanting to be enlightened, well, I would have been enlightened so many years ago. It's not so easy. Nobody wants to be ignorant and blind. But the fact is, we are. We do not become enlightened merely by wanting to be enlightened. Why we become enlightened or how we become enlightened, I don't know. There is nothing that we can do to bring about enlightenment. It is not within our capacity to bring about enlightenment like this. Nothing we can do. Our dana, our sila, our bhavana, But all these things, no matter how hard we practice them, will not inevitably make us enlightened. So we shouldn't do these things with the idea of getting something in return, becoming enlightened. We should perform our charity and observe precepts and do whatever because we understand that these are the right things to do, not with the idea of getting anything in return. Because if we do that, we shall cheat ourselves. So nothing, whatever we can do, will surely bring about enlightenment. It's not like that. Enlightenment comes to us when we're ready, when we're open, when we're receptive, when we're not looking anymore. So even when there are monks, it doesn't mean to say the Dhamma will not continue to decline. It doesn't depend upon the monks. The order of monks has kept the Buddha Dhamma alive all these centuries. But it cannot make anyone enlightened. Nobody can make us enlightened. Nobody can wave a magic wand and touch us on the head with it and, hey presto, we're enlightened. Not like that. Not like this Vietnamese nun, Ching Hai, saying that whoever says her name and prays to her will become enlightened and liberated. That is too silly. But so many people believe it because they want to believe it. They don't know anything. And the fact that many of them are professional people, doctors, lawyers and anything, still doesn't make it right. You can be highly educated in a particular area, but quite foolish in others. This is the worldly education that I'm talking about, which is very bad. It is not proper or complete education, and it's not wisdom. So don't think that because lots of people follow her and she's very rich, that she is right. Or people like that. There are lots of them. They're coming up like mushrooms now, these living Buddhas, or so-called living Buddhas. Everyone proclaiming themselves to be enlightened. We should always be suspicious of anyone who claims to be enlightened. Not rush to follow them. A person, I think, who is really enlightened will not make a show of it. He will probably try to hide it, in fact. No, in your lives, yourselves, you try to find Dhamma. Don't depend upon anyone. Learn from whoever you can, wherever you can, whenever you can. And be grateful to anyone who helps you to understand something. I'm grateful to a monkey and to many other things and to many other people. Many. I once thought of writing a book about gratitude. Gratitude towards people who have helped me on my way. But I thought if I began, I would never finish it because there are just so many people who I owe so much to. I think the way to repay other people for helping us is to use what we learn from them. And like the cover on one of my books, we are like a person who stands with one hand upraised and the other stretched down. With this hand, we receive help from others who are more advanced than we are. And with this hand, we extend help to those who are less advanced than we are. And always we find ourselves somewhere in between. So we take in and we give out. It comes through. It doesn't stop here. We're not just taking in, we're also giving out. And so we repay people who have helped us by helping others in turn. Those who have helped us do not expect us to give back what we got from them. They expect us to give it to those who do not yet know. So we're all in this position. A link in a chain. I tell you what, I will stop here and I will step down. And then you can do what you like. If you want to come and talk with me further there, you may do so, but informally. So we're more level, more equal. Perhaps because I'm sitting here and you're sitting there, there is too much respect towards me. So I will sit there. And if you do not have anything else to say to me, then it has been pleasant sharing some thoughts with you this evening and being here. And I hope that something of what I have said is useful to you.